It's Feedback Gaming. Hello, welcome back. One of the most common questions people ask me is what the specs of my computer and why their game lags so much late game and mine does not. So I thought I'd go through some benchmarks to test out what makes the game run faster or slower, and then let you guys know the results. First of all, my computer specs. I have an i7-4790K, which is clocked at 4 gig, and it has a turbo mode that goes up to 4.4 gig. I've overclocked mine to 4.6 gig. It has 16 gigs of RAM. When I built this PC 4 years ago, I was on a budget, and one of the parts that I skimped back on was RAM. So this is no gaming branded RAM, this is no high-end RAM, this is the cheapest what was on offer. The graphics card that I've got is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 970. For this benchmark, 1st of January 1936 to the 1st of April 1936. To make it a fair test, there will be no Spanish Civil War. If the Spanish Civil War fires within those 4 months, I'll restart and start over. I have to zoom in to a tiny ocean tile to make sure none of the graphics on screen could slow the game down. And also as well, I am going to put it in observe mode. The one exception to that rule is Iron Man. The first thing I'm going to do is test for a control. So I'm going to use the 4790K overclocked to 4.6 gig, and I'm going to run 3 trials of that. The first result came in at 1 minute and 10 seconds and 95. The second result 1 minute and 9 seconds, and the third result 1 minute 92. So just within a 1.5 second variance. So if you want to compare that result, do exactly what I did, follow the exact same rules, and test it from the 1st of January to the 1st of April, and tell me what result you get and comment below. Before I start making changes with Hearts of Iron 4, let's just make sure there's nothing on my computer or in the Hearts of Iron 4 files that could be slowing the game down. So at this point I run CC Cleaner and wipe all cache and temporary files on all my browsers. I make sure all background applications are closed, in this case Discord, Chrome, Dropbox. I also wipe the Documents folder of Hearts of Iron 4, which is under this PC, Documents, Paradox Interactive, and I wipe the Hearts of Iron 4 folder completely. The result is 1 minute 10 seconds 15. It's made no difference. The next test, I turn off all graphics within the options in the settings menu and drop down the shaders to as low as they go as well. The result was 1 minute 10 seconds and 24. Yet again, no real change. The next test is Iron Man. With Iron Man, you can't go into observer mode because you can't open the console. The result is 1 minute 13 and 18. The next result is me turning the AI off. So I open the console and I type in AI, and that'll disable all AIs. The result is 1 minute and 2 seconds and 64. The next test is using the PFU multiplayer rebalance mod. It is what it is. It is a rebalancing mod for multiplayer that makes a lot of smaller changes to the stats within Hearts of Iron 4. But it also removes manpower from the minor powers, particularly in South America, Latin America, and some areas of the Middle East. The result of that, no divisions come out of these nations unless it's late game where they can change the conscription laws. The result is 57 seconds 88. It's quite a big drop. The next test is the Expert AI mod 4.0. This is mainly an AI booster mod that allows the AI to perform better against the player, but it also has some performance improvements which limits the minor powers research slots down to 1, so less research means less production overall, and it limits minor nations' ability to make divisions until late game. The result is 1 minute 8 seconds and 79. So, what is the conclusion? First of all, CPU plays a huge role in Hearts of Iron 4, significantly more than GPU. It looks like graphics card settings as well as the graphic settings in game make little to no impact on how long it takes time to progress in game. This leaves several questions unanswered. What performs better? A core like an i7, which has a high single core performance, or a high-end multi-core processor such as an i9 that can range from 10 up to 18 cores. I did a test where I opened up Chrome and opened 200 tabs and used up 5 gigs of RAM and then played Hearts of Iron 4. The result added an extra 20 seconds on. I chose not to show the results of that as I felt like the extra tabs were spiking CPU usage as well, so I couldn't decide whether it was CPU usage or RAM usage that was causing the game to slow. One final note, this doesn't tell us about late game factors that could cause performance slowdown or performance improvement, as all these tests were done in 1936. And that's it. If you want to see some of the other points that I mentioned that I didn't address in another video, please tell me in the comments below. This is not the kind of content I do on my channel normally, and if you guys would like to see a follow-up, feel free to comment below and like this video. There are a few other tests that I didn't choose to include in this video. Why? Well, these tests don't have any guidelines, have nothing to compare them to, and frankly, they're just numbers, so don't take these numbers too seriously. Alright, first off, Kaiserreich. 0.6.2. Same test, 1936, and then the test ends on the 1st of April. It took 1 minute and 32 seconds, 0.3. This is kind of what I imagine. There's more countries, there's more events at the start of the game than Kaiserreich, and that would make the game slightly take longer than vanilla. Next result is the same. It's the modern day mod version 0.30.0.5. This is in the 2000 start, which is the earliest start in that game, until the 1st of April. And it took 1 minute, 52 seconds, 0.12. Not a surprising result. This game has a lot of countries, particularly a lot of smaller micronations. More calculations need to be done in the background. And it also has quite an in-depth stability system, which is based on like a scoring system. And every country has to keep their score and has lots of events that fire in game randomly that could potentially increase or decrease stability, so that's a factor. The next result is the Black Ice mod, version 3.0.2. It took 1 minute and 54 seconds, 85. Now this surprised me because Black Ice mod is quite complex with the amount of extra equipment and production that needs to be done in the back end, as well as a lot of the research. So I expected this result to be a lot higher. One of the reasons this result might be lower is because at the start of the game an event fires which allows Paraguay to annex all of Latin America as well as South America. And also, to top that off as well, that superstate won't make any divisions, so it just remains idle. So that might explain why this result is better than expected. The next one is the Fallout mod, the Old World Blues mod, version 1.0.17. It took 53 seconds and 18. This is a really good result, and the reason for it is half of the countries have been erased from the world. 2/3 of the world map have been erased too, and there are also a lot of the national focus trees, as well as some technologies have been removed as well to simplify the game, so that might result in this being a good result overall. To test out different hardware, I whipped out my laptop, installed Hearts of Iron 4, and did the same test on it. It has an i7-77HQ, which is clocked at 2.8 gig. It also has 8 gig of RAM, and it has a GTX 1050, which it's not a bad result for a laptop. It's difficult to say with that result though what caused it to take an extra 20 seconds longer than my desktop. Was it the CPU, was it the RAM, or was it even the graphics card? It's really difficult to say. The final test I did is I loaded up in 1939. I waited until the 1st of January 1942. I made a save game there, and I did the same test again. This is on my 4790K, which is overclocked to 4.6 gig, and I run it for 4 months from the 1st of January 1942 to the 1st of April 1942. The result is 3 minutes, 27 seconds, 0.5. So as you can see, it triples the amount of time it takes for 3 months to pass in-game. Now what's causing this? Is it the AI? Is it some kind of restriction on how much RAM that I'm using? Is it just an overall bottleneck for my CPU? Yet again guys, if you want me to make another video on this, I can do tests on it and actually find out the reason why and see how to get better performance for you guys. But apart from that guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye bye.